Somehow, when you don't qualify as normal, you often become the center of a wide array of interventions, with words such as these attached to them. Teach, guide, heal, shape, correct, modify, supervise, discipline, prepare, instruct, manage, enlighten, direct, train, advise, order, and control. After an overfull schedule of such relationships, try to sense how you might feel if suddenly you found a friend who became attracted to you exactly as you are, or just liked being with you, and never, repeat never, felt the need to fix you.
I never intentionally set out to start Natural Ties. It just happened naturally, as any other friendship would. When I was a sophomore at the University of Kansas, I sat down next to a stranger. And even though we hadn't met before, it seemed like we had a lot in common. One of the first things we talked about was our common interest and love for music. He loved James Taylor, Simon & Garfunkel, and so did I. He also loved KU basketball, and so did I. The next thing I knew, we were singing some James Taylor songs.
I just want to stop, thank you, baby. I want to stop, thank you, baby. I want to stop.
And within 5 minutes, I realized I had more in common with him than I did with a lot of other guys I went to college with. Jay's disability didn't bother me, because he was more like me than unlike me. He quickly became a friend of mine, rather than a stranger with a disability.
Smile. Can you smile?
At the time, I was living in a fraternity with about 80 other guys. And if they were anything like me, they probably had little or no experience with people with disabilities. Jay and I started spending about 2 or 3 days a week together. And I always kind of thought to myself, what are we ever going to learn if we don't ever try new things? Well, some of the other guys didn't really accept Jay the way that I thought they would. But as Jay's visits continued, a lot of the prejudice broke down, and the guys accepted Jay for who he is, and not for who they wanted him to be.
The chapter has just had its house meeting, and we voted unanimously to admit Jay Turnbull to the SAE fraternity. Is that okay with you? And I can't tell you how okay it was with me. You could have knocked me over with a feather. I mean, I felt as though the floor was falling out below me, or the ceiling was exploding above me. I had this sensation of this was the dream.
Since that day that Pat and Jay met in 1988, Jay has become a brother of the SAE fraternity, and Pat has become the executive director of a program inspired by their relationship called Natural Ties. Its aim is to strengthen the performance of the communities it serves by teaming up all of its members, by creating an avenue through which individuals with and without disabilities can work together to place their communities out in front. No one can do it alone. This may seem a difficult work, but if you just listen to the words and look at the pictures, you'll find that it's actually pretty simple. Feeling natural and open to new ideas is the nucleus of the whole program. It's the reason that Natural Ties was founded and is successful today. It means different things to different people. Some see friendships, some see teamwork, some see an opportunity for growth, while others search for that glimmer of hope and find satisfaction in doing something different. One thing for certain, though, is that Natural Ties promotes the reciprocal qualities that all true friendships try to uphold.
In my experience, or any college experience, if you could have a Natural Ties on campus, it would be of tremendous value to students. I mean, this is your formative period where you're really solidifying your values, your point of view about the world, how you're going to approach other people. And an experience like Natural Ties, which is going to open your mind and your heart and the way you view the disabled, and really begin to accept people who are different than you are and relate to them, can only be a phenomenal learning experience at a critical time in your life that will carry over to not only how you deal with disabled people, but with how you deal with all sorts of groups of people who are different than you are.
Natural Ties first starts out with a student and a person with a disability, but soon the lines blur as to any specific title one might hold. The only thing that matters now is friendship.
Carlton stepped on your hair? How did he step on your hair?
This is Ira Mitchell, a teacher's aide in an elementary school in Evanston, Illinois.
Most of them look forward to seeing me every day. Time out. What?
Just from talking with Ira, it seems that the toughest part is just meeting new people, meeting people outside of your immediate surroundings.
And this is Eli Winkler, a sophomore in the Fiji fraternity at Northwestern University. It would be too easy to guess that their interests are a world apart, that their lifestyles are completely different, or that their backgrounds would never lead them to the same dinner table at the same time at the same fraternity house.
I always feel like I'm accepted over here because people are always nice to me. Every time I come over here, everybody's like, hey, Ira, what's happening? I'm like, not much.
It's just a place where he can walk in anytime. He knows the code to our door. He eats dinner with us. He goes to football games with us. He tailgates outside in the parking lot with us. What tends to happen to people with disabilities and to college students is that they go to their own institutions and they create their own lives and surround themselves with people much like themselves. And Natural Ties is just a way of connecting those two groups, and my experience is that it definitely works.
Natural Ties has unquestionably brought Ira's and Eli's worlds much closer, and it gives them the opportunity to learn from each other while nurturing a friendship that may last a lifetime.
What I like most about having a family is I can relate and talk to. If I'm really down, they're there to listen. And that's what the ties mean to me. Because my family is split apart right now. My mom and dad's down in Arkansas, and having the ties around me are really, really, because I can talk and relate, and they understand where I'm relating from.
Sharon is involved with the Sigma Kappa sorority at the University of Kansas, where she is an active member with many of the events that go on during the year. She has learned a lot with her new friends, from dancing to fancy pool playing to just hanging out and being one of the girls. The best thing in all these lessons, though, is that there are no lessons, no teaching, and no lecturing. This is good old-fashioned friendship. I'll learn from you, and you learn from me. People become friends through casual, everyday type interaction. And the benefits of these friendships help complement each other's character while broadening their outlook and understanding of someone who may seem different than they are.
One of the great challenges in working with people with disabilities is to see beyond the disability and to see the ability.
Once you become part of Natural Ties, it's really just about making a friendship.
It makes me feel good that I have had an impact on his life, and he has vice versa in my life too, because, you know, I know I'll keep in touch with him forever. I think that's great that Natural Ties has done that.
There's no difference between any of us.
It's very helpful to people like me or other people, my friends who have disabilities too. I think it would benefit everybody if everybody would get involved.
I believe, as Nietzsche would say yes, be a yay-sayer. Natural Ties is something worth saying yes to.
Natural Ties is great.
Natural Ties, phenomenon.
Natural Ties is mutually beneficial.
Natural Ties is fun.
Natural Ties is... Stump me on that one. Natural Ties is... I can't answer it in one word for you.